Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to begin a new chapter, that is coordinate geometry, chapter number 3 from NCERT. This is nothing new. We have been studying this chapter from I think 6th class onwards, little by little. But you had studied very well about this chapter in class 8th. That was introduction to bar graphs. So when we were studying about introduction to bar graphs, so there we studied about number lines, horizontal and vertical, how to locate points on a graph sheet. So this whole chapter is that only. This whole chapter is about the Cartesian plane. You can see the topics given in this. Cartesian system. Here you can see the chapter name, and then indicating points on the graph. So like this, and finding out the location of the point. Suppose if this type of graph is given, this type of arrangement, what are the coordinates of B, what are the coordinates of D, like that. So this is what we are going to study. And like if this type of data is given, how to locate these points on the graph. So this is the whole chapter, very easy, and scoring chapter also. Only 3 exercises are there in this chapter. Exercise 1, 2 and 3. Third exercise has only 2 questions. One question is about drawing, verifying, locating the points on the graph, and second one is also same. In the first question you will identify in which quadrant these points lie or exist. So that is the summary of this chapter, coordinate geometry. Okay, so even though we know it, let me give you a brief introduction and we'll go with the exercise questions. So you have already studied how to locate a point on a number line. Number line के ऊपर एक point को, suppose if this is the 0 and if a number is given or a point is given, इस number line के ऊपर कैसे locate करना है, that we have already studied. You also know how to describe the position of a point on the line. एक line के ऊपर पॉइंट का पोजीशन के बारे में भी यदि बताना है, उसके बारे में भी हम लर्न कर चुके हैं. सो देयर आर मेनी अदर सिचुएशंस इन विच टू फाइंड अ पॉइंट वी आर रिक्वायर्ड टू डिस्क्राइब इट्स पोजीशन विथ रेफरेंस टू मोर देन वन लाइन. कई बार ऐसे परिस्थितियां आते हैं जहां हमें किसी एक पॉइंट को डिस्क्राइब करने के लिए, टू फाइंड ए पॉइंट वी आर रिक्वायर्ड टू डिस्क्राइब इट्स पोजीशन विथ रेफरेंस टू मोर देन वन लाइन. कई बार ऐसे सिचुएशंस आते हैं, सपोज लाइन इज हियर एंड पॉइंट इज हियर. टू डिस्क्राइब दिस पॉइंट अबव दिस लाइन, so single line is not enough. We require more than one line. In such cases we will be requiring one more line. Okay, so for example consider the following situations. यहाँ पर कुछ situations दिए हैं. Situation is like you want to enter into a street. So this is the main line, and if you want to enter into some street, so how do you go? First you have to enter into the street, main line, okay, main colony, and then you will have to go into particular street number. If you want to go to house number 4 of street number 5, first you will come straight till here, and then from here you will street number 4, then you will turn towards right, okay, and you will walk towards this direction and you will stop here. So that means here you require street number and house number. So we require 2 things here. We require 2 references in order to approach or in order to reach a position. Okay, same if you want to move to house number 3 of street number 7, you will walk straight and you will stop here. You will reach street number 7 and then you will take left and you will walk towards this direction and stop at this location, so that you will reach the house number 3. So you are required at least 2 references in order to reach this point. We'll move to the next page. This is the whole concept here, nothing new. Even if you take up this diagram, this is a plane space. Okay, in this plane space there is a point. I just suppose a point is marked here, and if I ask you to describe about this point or locate this point, where is this point on this particular location, or where is this point placed on this rectangular box? So what do you say? You will say that from the bottom it is 9 centimeters above, like here it is given, from the bottom it is 9 centimeters above, and from the left side it is 5 centimeters. Okay, so how do you do? Otherwise you can, from this corner, from the leftmost corner of this figure, walk 5 centimeters towards right and then walk perpendicularly 9 centimeters, then you will reach this point. So to describe this location, to describe this point, we require two values. Okay, so even in the sitting places also, if you enter into a classroom, there also you will find the columns and rows. Okay, in almost all of our classrooms we have at least 3 columns and at least 5 rows. Okay, suppose these are all the columns and these are all the rows. First column, second column, third column, fourth column, like that. So she is sitting in which column? Some here a student is sitting here. In which location? What's her location? She is sitting in the 4th column, column 4th. And in which row? In which row she is sitting? 1st row. 4th column, 1st row. So that's her location. So if someone is sitting here, okay, someone is sitting or standing here, so what's his place? He is sitting in the 7th column, 4th row. Okay, we are taking 2 locations, 2 references to indicate this person. So in that way, in order to describe 2 places, in order to describe a point, we need at least 2 references. Look at this. In the discussion above, you observe that position of any object lying in a plane can be represented with the help of 2 perpendicular lines. In case of dot, we require distance of the dot from bottom line as well as from the left edge of the paper. This one, left edge of the paper. So in case of seating plan, we require the number of the column and that of the row. So this simple idea has far reaching consequences and has given rise to a very important branch of mathematics known as coordinate geometry. In this chapter, we aim to introduce some basic concepts of coordinate geometry, basic concepts. You will study more about these in your higher classes. So this study was initially developed by the French philosopher and mathematician René Descartes. So this is the name of the mathematician, and a description about this mathematician is given in this box. You can go through this later. Look at the exercise 3.1. How will you describe the position of a table lamp on your study table to another person? Suppose at your home, some of you may not having the study lamps, table lamps for the study purpose, but imagine that on a table a lamp is set up over here, maybe here in the center. Okay, so how will you describe about this? How will you describe the position of this point or this lamp? How will you describe? You may say that it's on the opposite edge of the, it's at the opposite edge of the table, and from left side this much, and from the bottom, from my side, this is in distance of this much length. So you will use 2 measurements here, this the breadth and the length. You will use 2 measurements here to explain about this lamp. Now second question. So it can be explained in your own words. Question number 1 can be explained in your own words. This answer may not be same for all. It's according to your own understanding. Second, a city has 2 main roads which cross each other. 2 main roads which cross each other at the center of the city. So this is the center of the city. They are crossing each other. These 2 roads are along the north-south direction and east-west direction. This is east, west, north and south direction. So what? So all the other streets of the city run parallel to these roads and are 200 meters apart. That means these are the two main roads. These are the two main roads, or simply like this, and all other roads in the streets of the city run parallel to these roads 200 meters apart. That means this is another road street, all the streets are like this. Okay, and what is the distance between each street, between each two streets? 200 meters. It's 200 meters. So there are 5 streets in each direction. So you take each to west direction or north to south direction, there are 5 streets. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5 streets. So represent using 1 centimeter is equal to 200 meters. So you consider scale given here is 1 centimeter is equal to 200 meters. Okay, it's 200 meters. So draw a model of the city on your notebook. ये जैसे मैंने यहाँ पर रफ ड्रा किया वैसे आपको नोटबुक में ड्रॉ करना रहेगा. Okay, so represent the roads, streets by single lines. तो जैसे मैंने single lines represent किया वैसे आपको represent करना है. So this is your task for question number 2. There are many cross streets in your model. A particular cross street is made by 2 streets. So यहाँ पर इस पैटर्न में आप बहुत सारे क्रॉस स्ट्रीट्स को देख सकते हो. So each cross street is made by 2 streets, one running in the north-south direction and one in the east-west direction. Each street, this cross street, is made by one north-south and one east-west streets. So each cross street is referred to in the following manner. If the second street running in the north-south direction and fifth in the east-west direction meet at some crossing, then we will call this cross street as 2 5. जैसे यहाँ पर नहीं दिया है उसका डायग्राम, but you will follow just this instruction after drawing this one, you will understand. So how many cross streets can be referred to as 4 and 3? So after you mention numbers 1 2 3 4 like that, how many streets can be referred to as 4 and 3, and how many cross streets can be referred to as 3, 4. After you mentioning the numbers, you will come to know how many are there. So that's about this activity of drawing street plan. That's about exercise 3.1. Now Cartesian system. What is Cartesian system? Look at this. In this you will see a number line. 0, positive numbers on right side, negative numbers on left side, and you can see 1 unit distance is written here. 1 unit distance, that means you take distance between any two numbers, that may be 3 to 4, 4 to 5, or negative in the negative direction or positive direction. You take distance between any two units numbers, the distance is 1 unit. When I say when I indicate a point here, what does it mean? This point is 4 units away from the origin. When I put a tick mark over here, what does it mean? This point is 5 units away from the origin. Or if I put a mark over here, this point is 2 meters away, 2 centimeters or 2 units away from the origin in the negative direction. So when we say 5, that means 5 units from the origin, either in the negative direction or in the positive direction. Okay. What is Cartesian system? Suppose we take the two number lines. This is one number line, x dash. X dash is represented towards negative direction, and this is towards positive direction. So on this number line we have positive numbers, negative numbers, and we can call it as horizontal number line. It is called as horizontal number line because sometimes we move left and right, sometimes we move up and down. So that's the reason we are taking another number line, horizon. We go up, like if we are on the sea level, at 0 position, we are at 0. If we go upside, if we fly over the water, that means we are upside. If we go into the water, we are in the negative direction. So these are the two different lines, different number lines, horizontal number line, vertical number line. Now when you bring these two number lines to together, I'm bringing these two number lines to this one and this one horizontal. What happens? This is 0